So, hi everybody again. Nice to see you all. Sitting, lying down, whatever. So, we start with meditation and enlightenment activation as usual. So, we just sit comfortably and close our eyes, or have they open if they want to. It's up to you. We're just coming to this present moment. We're not trying to come to the present moment. It's easy. We just allow this moment to be as it already is, with all things which are coming and passing. Whatever is here, we just allow it to be here. Even thoughts are allowed to be here. We don't push any thoughts away. We're simply not interested in anything, not interested in thoughts. I don't push anything away. Emotions may rise. We treat them in the same way. We're not trying to fix the emotions. We just let them be. Not interested in them. So we just sit here now, allowing the moment to be as it already is. Not interested in anything particular, and doing absolutely nothing. We can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So, is there anybody who has any questions or anything to share or comments?
Hi, Krister. It's Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
I just had a question about what you said yesterday about, um, being passive and sitting on the couch. And I wondered how that goes with this idea that there's no person to do anything. So I think I am, being fairly passive and, unsure what to do. But is there anyone like, should I be trying to do more? I'm just confused about how those two things go together.
Mm. It's um, it's a very good question actually, because we are speaking in paradoxes many times here. Then we are speaking, so to speak, on different levels. We are speaking on the ocean. There is only the ocean. There is one level. It's so to speak on the top of the mountain, seeing from. That is can be, so to speak, inconsistent or not in tune with what we speak about when we talk about, for instance, a me and being passive. Who is being passive? There is if there is no me. So I think it's good to understand we are speaking on different levels here. And when it comes to when we talked yesterday about expectations, then we are speaking on the talking about the mind. We're talking about the thinking mind, and to see how the thinking mind has ideas that the expectations should be fulfilled, and how it, when it is not fulfilled, it creates disturbances, uncomfortable states. That is, that's one level we are speaking on. But if we are mixing it with, but there's no one here anyway, so why should I care? Yes, this is true on another level seen. But the thing is, do you see that? That is the issue here. Even if you have some kind of theoretical or conviction intellectually that there's no one here really, having an expectations, there's no one here who can choose to be passive or not. Yes, but do you see that? As long as we don't see that, we are, so to speak, within the thinking mind's control. And that is the idea to become aware. Even if there's no one aware, but you don't see that yet. Huh? So we are working in steps here. We are working in different layers. And when we talk about not being passive, it's about becoming aware how the mind is tricking us, fooling us, while we are believing that it's true that when the expectations are not fulfilled, I get disappointed. So it's better not to have expectations at all. So it becomes a project. It becomes a mind project. It becomes a thinking project. That is the only thing which we want to point to, that as long as we are trapped in the thinking mind, which is enormously creative in all kinds of areas, then it's not so easy to see that we're already free. That freedom state which is behind that grabbing ideas. It's the same with preferences, for instance. There is an idea out there on the market that we maybe should work with our preferences and not go for our preferences. Then everything will be fine. Well, and even big teachers actually talk about this. I don't know if they do it for pedagogic reasons. I don't comment on that. It's just to see that working with preferences is still the thinking mind in control. When it says in this famous sutra, the great way is not difficult for those who has no preferences. Is it a method that is talked about? Or is it a state that they talk about? Because in the awakened freedom state, there are no preferences. And when we say preferences, we don't talk about the body, because the body still likes to have chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla or whatever it is. What we talk about is preference, of course, on the me level. I prefer this instead of this, and so on. We are using preferences the whole days, not seeing that preference is actually a mind game. We can't work with preferences. If you get headache, now today, I will not have any preferences at all. Well, try that one. How many minutes can you do that without having headache or stomach pain? It's not about working with having no preferences. It's to see that in the awakened state there are no preferences. Everything is just arising and falling for no one. But it has to be seen. It has to be seen. Before that, it's just a theory. So it's very good to understand this difference. As long as we are working with something which is ideas, we're not coming anywhere. We're just going in the same porridge all the time. Thinking, expectations. I will have no expectations now because that it brings me uncomfortableness because the life is so destructive. It's just thinking. I will not have any preferences now. We just get stiffness in the body because we are never leaving the mind. We never. It becomes a mind project, and the mind is very happy with this. Oh, now we have something we can do. We have a project, and I am the project manager. But as long as this project manager up there has the control, has the power, it's very hard to see that which is lying behind it, the true state, which is without any preferences. Every moment is totally complete as it is, and every moment is filled with pure love and joy, enjoying life, existing. But as long as we are inside the thinking mind with all kinds of projects about expectations or preferences or know me or whatever it is, we are just trapped there. And the non-doing meditation is one way to not Instead of fighting with the mind, we are saying we're not interested. But we don't push it away. Because if we try to discuss with the thinking mind, thoughts which are coming during meditation, we give it actually energy. Ah, he's protesting against what I'm saying. He's still on my ground, so to speak, in my territory. That's why non-doing meditation is so effective, because the thinking mind doesn't have any power, or very little power during meditation. There is no ideas about me not being good enough. There's not a worry about the future. There's no protest about the present moment that has to be improved. And there is no idea that I'm totally worthless, or whatever it is in your unique case. Thoughts are not active. They are not having any power during meditation. They're not ideas that I shouldn't have any preferences. I shouldn't I shouldn't have any expectations. They don't have any power. And what is happening then? Something is opening up by itself, not by us becoming available for see something else. This pure loving existing state, which we so to speak are forever, have always been. I don't know if that is an answer to your question, Kathy. Mixing the levels. It's very important to see this. Very good question. Thank you to clarify this. When we stop the doing in whatever way, all these practices, all these exercises which is in the market, when we stop it, then the seeing starts. Seeing how it really is. When we stop the doing. Stop trying to manage things. I should not have any preferences, no expectations. I should not be involved. There's one more. I should not be involved. That is not it's not a practice. It's a description of the awakened state. And that is also very misunderstood. Detachment. I'm not involved. Yes, you're not involved in one sense, but you are totally involved in another sense. You're totally involved in what is. Totally involved with what you see with your eyes. More than ever. The perception is brighter than ever. You're totally involved in it. But you never forget what is the origin of it. And in that place, you are detached, yes. So one more example, we have been through it before. That the ideas is making us go astray. We're going on the wrong direction. Stop all these ideas and all these teachings and just see what is here in the moment. And something is suddenly opening up. Or we just leave the moment as it is. Not interested in anything specific, not interested in anything specific thoughts. Just being here. And then that quality of just being is coming more and more out in daily activity. And that is, of course, what we want. We don't want to sit in a cave forever. Life is here. Any other questions or comments? Or protests?
I promise no protest today.
Okay, that is one version. Yeah, but your thing is that if you, it's a good point, no? I promise to have no protests today. Then can you feel that there's some kind of struggle already starting? That the body is already a little bit stiff. I promise some no protest today. It's a protest against a protest starting.
Sounds way too complicated, but okay.
You understand my point that
Yeah.
every promise, I'm not talking about promise when you are getting married, but every promise somehow closes something. It closes to some kind of doors. It's closed. It's not open really. How can we promise anything at all if we don't know what's going to happen?
It was more of a joke than anything
Yeah,
else.
I like it. Thank you, Wilson. Well, coming back with your comments, by the way. I missed them.
So,
Yeah.
so how are we, let's say, for one thing, somebody thinks, assumes, believes that they're not enlightened, that, they're just not there yet. And then, and clearly from my experience, you've seen some aspect of a major aspect of reality that I have not so far. I've seen little pieces of it, but not the whole thing. It seems. So how you experience reality different from how I experience it? Or a lot of other people, let's say, who assume that they're
Mm.
not already free, that they're all not already awake.
We can make an experiment here with you and all others. How is this moment? How is this moment felt, experienced, when I don't believe that I'm not enlightened? I will repeat it once more. You just let it sink in and wait. How is this moment experienced, seen, felt, when I don't believe that I'm not enlightened? Just let it sink in, so to speak, and just wait. This thought that I am not enlightened, whatever, however you put it, it says no one enlightened, of course, but it's just a word. It can actually also be an obstacle. It can be some kind of blockage there. I'm not enlightened, I'm not enlightened, I'm not enlightened. Become some kind of mantra almost, which can be a hindrance from seeing that you are actually enlightened. It just came here, Fritz. And now I forgot what you actually said. What you said something else.
That's okay. I can't remember it either. So
Okay.
next.
Yeah, next. No, but it was something interesting. What was it? Somebody else remember?
Um, so
Yeah, I
what's the
know. Now I know.
difference?
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How does it look from the fully enlightened being's perspective, you could say? Mm. In comparison to someone who has had glimpses of it. Well, if you have glimpses on, and I know you have, um, the truth is the truth. You can't see more truth, so to speak. We see different aspects of it. If you had discovered that you are the ocean, but you have discovered in the depths of the ocean what you call usually pure awareness or something. Pure awareness shows itself suddenly in its like a glimpse and stays for a couple of weeks or something, whatever it is. You have seen one aspect of the truth, but it's still the truth. It's just that the truth has so many aspects. It's actually infinite. It seems to be infinite. And different teachers are talking about different aspects of it also, which maybe sometimes feel that, are they really talking about the same thing here? Yeah, we do. It's just that we have focusing on more dominating aspects that what we see. So in the enlightened state then, which is just one step, so to speak, it's continuous. The insights are continuous. Discovery continues after enlightenment also. But enlightenment is described, in my way of looking at it, as total wisdom, how it is, with total love. Both must be there. Total wisdom and total love together. Jnana and bhakti goes together. And of course, that is a seeing, and it's tricky with all the words. Because when we try to describe this, it's not literally meant, to be honest. I would like to have another group session talk about this, because this is what I was writing about in my doctoral thesis in philosophy. Language, and how can language actually cover what is seen in the enlightened state, if I may call it that. But I
It
was
can't completely.
no, that was my founding after 8 years of studies of the mystics. Reading 1,000 books. I can't actually. But that was found on the philosophical way. Then it was found on the experiential way later. So it's not so easy to describe it. One way, very shortly, in one sentence almost, so to describe it, that there is only being. And that is not any discovery even. There is only being, or existence, or whatever you want to call it. It's only one reality. Satchitananda, we have in Indian philosophy. Sat means being or existence. And Shit means consciousness in some translations. But in my interpretation is that being knows, is conscious of itself as existing. This is not philosophy here. It's a description of the enlightened state. It's not a theory. And Ananda, which is usually translated as bliss, but they had many meanings in Sanskrit, is also love, actually. So it's being, knowing that it exists, and whose nature is oneness, bliss, and love as a permanent state 24/7.
Even if it's not seen.
It's not seen even.
I'm not speaking about the eyes, but
Yeah, of course, because in the one state, which is before, in the one state, it is still seen that all is one. It's a shift in perspective, so to speak. Oh, but there is no things here really. It's just thinking which cuts things in pieces and calls it something by putting labels on it. But actually, all is one. There's a shift in this, which is very hard to describe. But that is still a seeing that all is one. But the seeing is, of course, not done by a person. So it's not duality, but it is still seen that all is one. I know it sounds very abstract, but it is describing how it looks in that shift and afterwards permanently. But in the next step, the seeing is gone. It's not a seeing that is being only. It's just being. How can we understand? I'm not reading from a philosophical book here. Is this a description of what is here now? And this is it's the most accurate description I can make, so to speak, I can make. Only being is. That's why we call this website Only Being Is. You can read the title of the website. You don't have to go into it. You can just read the title. Only Being Is. Okay, good. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye.
Write it down.
Quick way to enlightenment. And that is true. That's the only description which fits what is here, not what is seen here even, what is here. There is no here, of course, because there is no place, there's no space even, huh? Only being, which is one, which is bliss, and which is love. When it flows, we call it life. When it is not flowing, we call it silence. Just existing, silently, vibrating. And when it moves, it's vibrating life, what we call experiences and feelings and thoughts and events. In short, our life. The ocean and the waves, still being the ocean. So many mystics and so-called saints and sages and enlightened beings, they are using this indirect language. They're using metaphors, they're using poems and so on, because it's very hard to describe this. And we have a tendency to take it literally. You know, with this classic about the finger and the moon in the Buddhist tradition. We are pointing to the moon, but people are looking at the finger. It's very tricky. And then you say that, oh, but please don't look at the finger here now. Look at what we're pointing to. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. So we were looking at what you're pointing to. Then 2 minutes later, any questions? And then you're talking about the finger. Happens all the time. I know I hope I'm not too sarcastic today, but I'm just have seen it so much that we understand what you mean. No, it's not so easy to understand this. It's better to do it instead, to see it, to discover what is your true nature, so to speak. It's not any you, a nature, of course. It's just a way of talking about it. We are using so many ways to talk about it. Consciousness, what is that? Is any consciousness? Of course not. And so on. We can go on forever. I would like to have a little separate group session because it's a little bit interesting to talk about this more. Do you want to say something more, Chris?
No, for the moment, I think I'm good. Yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah, we have a session. You can just wait here after the session.
Okay.
So
Yep.
we can have it directly afterwards if you want to.
Good.
Anyone else?
I just want
Kathy?
to add one comment on all of that.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
kind of sitting here and in past sessions, I'll listen to what you say and I'll try and think about it and understand it. And, I'm trying. And today I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm getting a little tiny bit of experience of it. And then I'm noticing the best thing I can possibly do when that happens is like absolutely nothing. Just sit here and see
Yeah.
what that experience does.
This is
And
beautiful, Kathy. This is actually what we are doing here. This is what the function of these meetings is, not to have some kind of talking really. What is between the lines? What is shown between the lines? That is the most important. And we just, instead of just sitting like this for 1 hour, we, we talk a little bit. But the talking is actually not important. It is what we feel and what we experience when we have these meetings. The atmosphere which is created by being together. That is what makes the real effect. Thank you, Kathy, for this comment. So you don't have to listen to me, you can just be here. I know actually when they talk to Osho in his meetings, and they say that I can't be awake. I just want to go to sleep when you come into the room. Oh, yes, go to sleep then. It's even better. Then you don't have any defense. You can just go to sleep there lying on the floor and I will talk. It will go in, not the talking, but what is behind this is my interpretation, of course. What is between the lines, it will go in even more because now you don't have any defense from the thinking mind. So this is what is happening when we're not talking, which is the most important. And tomorrow, for those who want to, we're going to have this marathon again. Enlightenment activation marathon is getting more and more long, these words. And I just want to mention that if you feel that you want to lay down, it's totally okay. You don't have to sit up there. No, I'm going to sit here now 90 minutes. Can be a little bit tiring, depending on the chair or your body or whatever. The only thing is that I need to see you. I need to see your face. Otherwise, you can have any kind of bodily position as you want during this activation. Is there any questions around this? Because I don't want to have so much questions in tomorrow when we start. If someone has anything now, we can. So we'll see each other tomorrow for those who want to. And we have also the marathon on Friday. And on Saturday, it's the last meeting before Christmas. There will be a little break there when we are going to Sri Lanka. But I will come back with the announcement about this. Okay, thank you very much for today then.